Been doing it for a while. Um, I've enjoyed the guitar, I've enjoyed music, I enjoy art, and I enjoy poetry and writing as well. Not necessarily see myself being really exceptionally good at any of that stuff, but it's a talent that God gave me, our Creator, the Heavenly Father. It's what He gave me, and it would be very dishonorable for me not to spread and share the gift, no matter what level I believe I'm at. I always get a little bit nervous doing these things, mainly because I want to make sure that it's presentable, right? So that's just part of me, part of my character. I'm passionate about all kinds of music. I listen to everything, okay? From, DC Talk, Run DMC, and, and all the way through, Tourniquet, White Cross, White Snake. Yes, I listen to White Snake. Yep. Big on that. Scorpion, I like Scorpion. I like all kinds of music. I like the Beatles. I like Dean Martin. Okay, so guys, I have a wide range that I really enjoy. But what I really like playing right now at this point in my life is kind of a Celtic reminiscing folk music. All right, and that's where I'm at, and that's what I really enjoy playing. It kind of takes me to, in my mind, to a place of peacefulness. It takes me to a place where I can reflect and remember a lot of the things that really brought me peace in my life. Whether it was camping out in the wilderness, whether it was going to the mountains and rock climbing, whether it was flying in an airplane or going to the beach. It didn't matter where I was at. All these songs have memories that are tied into it because it reminds me of these certain things. Then there are songs that actually remind me of the 90s. Yeah, right? Where the coffee shop stayed open until midnight and beyond, right? Kept us out of the bars and the pubs and kept us in the coffee shops playing music and listening to music. And I really enjoyed that, I really liked that. Now, I first started guitar, like I said, in 1990, and I learned from my dad in the beginning stages. My dad was in the band, a cover band back in the 70s, and they played everything. They played everything from the Beach Boys to the Rat Pack to the Beatles to Boston. My dad's favorite band still to this day is Boston, okay? He loves Boston, and I love Boston, all right? That guitar is rich, all right? And so my dad was one of the main influences of me getting into guitar because he always had an Alvarez Yari, and that's a beautiful sounding guitar to this day. And that Alvarez Yari just, so good. First guitar I ever played on. And I enjoyed it. And so I got into it and I started learning, the basic chords. C, D, G, F, and A, right? The five major chords that are in 98% of the songs that are popular on the radio, right? Okay? And I learned on standard tuning. But then I discovered half capoing. And if any of you guys know what a capo is, hang on a second. All right. So this is a capo. What a capo typically does in a standard sense is it gives you a higher octave, okay? It takes the note up higher without you having to retune the guitar to make that sound. You don't have to tune it higher and sacrifice, hopefully not sacrifice string breaking. You don't have to tune it all the way down to where the string sounds really, really, really buzzy and loose, right? You could use the capo, all right? So the capo changes the tune, makes it higher. But what I did was I turned it around and I only used this part, which covered the three strings, and that's how I began discovering a tuning that was open tuning. I could play a chord by just strumming the guitar without having to put my fingers on the neck. And it changed my world. It changed my world. It changed everything about what I could do with this. Now, I don't have to just sound like everybody else. I could do something unique and something different and build something that tells everybody it's Jason Murry. It tells everybody that it's what Jason Murry feels. It's what Jason Murry experiences, and it's how Jason Murry tells the story. Okay? So that's the beautiful thing about this. And as Thomas was talking earlier, right, about letting yourself evolve, letting your art evolve, letting your song evolve. I didn't plan on showcasing the full song, but I am going to showcase 2 songs, and I'm not going to take very long with them. But I wanted to give you guys a piece of what I do when I'm in my private time at home with my coffee on the front porch playing the guitar. All right? This is one of the first songs that I ever wrote. Actually, it is the first song I ever wrote in an open tuning. You're just going to see me go up the scale. And because it's an open tuning, this one's actually Gad Gad. So my strings I tune D, A, D, G, A, D. That's why they call it Dad Gad. All right? Dad Gad gives us this full, deep D chord sound, but it brings a folk and Celtic sound to it. I love it. One of my favorite tunings ever. But this was the first song I wrote in this tune. It's very simple. I'm just basically going up the neck primarily. All right? And I can do that in this tuning. Versus standard tuning, I'd have to change the areas, change the strings to get the same sound. So this is called Road to California. It's been a while since I played this, but this song has changed. The foundation has stayed the same, but it's changed a lot over the years. The original one, I don't even remember how to play it, so. So this is a 12 string. 12 string have octave strings. Except for these. These are the same. Okay? Now my B string usually gives me a hard time. So I gotta slightly tune it a little differently. And there it is. And that's a D2. All I gotta do is put my index finger on the 2nd fret, okay, and on the G. And so here it is, a full D. That's a D suspended. Okay? Very simple, very simple. This is the Road to California. 1996. And I had, no, it was 97. And it was the first time I drove the full trip to California. And I drove my grandparents with me to California. And we went through, we went down south from Tulsa, hit I-40, and just went west. And what comes to mind with this song is that it's as we pass through Texas and get into New Mexico. And so we're going through Tucumcari and going all the way through Gallup and Albuquerque, Gallup, and then coming into Flagstaff, Arizona. And just that whole tune just reminded me of that whole drive. From New Mexico to the edge of Arizona, and beautiful, beautiful country. The mesas, the red dirt, you know, and then getting into the Arizona Rockies, right? Getting into the Rockies, you know, and seeing Flagstaff, Arizona, and coming through there. It was so nice, and it was so beautiful. And this song reminds me of that every single time. So there's that. Another one is a more recent one. It's called 1998. All right. And let's go here. There it is. First and hard to the hideaway. We were young with fire in our souls, speaking religious things of Yahweh. First and Lewis and Nordagios, singing songs and hymns, spiritual songs. Americanos and lattes at the coffee bar. David started laughing because he knows exactly the places I was talking about. Because we both had time in Tulsa. All right, so there you go. Again, it's a story of what I did back in 1998. Me and a couple of friends of mine worked at Mardell, okay, back then. We worked at Mardell. And at the time, it was at 51st and Harvard. And so I was remembering these times that I would spend with them. We would literally go to the first Hideaway Pizza in the Tulsa Metro. It was either the first one or the second one. I can't remember. I don't remember if the first one was on 15th or if the first one was at 81st and Harvard. But they were kind of simultaneously coming in at the same time. And that's when Tulsa got their first Hideaway Pizza, was back in 97, 98, okay? And right, am I right, David? Something like that?
We were around there,
Yeah, so we would go to Hideaway Pizza, have our pizza, and then after that we would drive to Nordagio's and have our coffee and be up at Nordagio's till about 1 in the morning, because that's how long they stayed open back then. And a group of us that played music, we would play music and lead worship and songs, hymns and spiritual songs. That's where I got that in my poetry there. It's not a finished song. I think there's more words to it, but I just haven't come around to it yet. All right? So it's not finished, and once again, it goes back to what Thomas was saying. You got to learn to evolve. You got to learn to build from it. Sometimes things aren't finished, and you got to continually seek out from the Creator what that creativity is supposed to look like. And so when I create these songs and I read these songs, it really means a lot to me. And again, it brings that peace. It brings that. I like the word nostalgia. That's my new word, one of my new words, because it brings back all those memories and all that time within there. You know, I did a better version of this song on my TikTok, but you know, it's been a minute since I played this song. I took a break on it for a couple weeks, so but I wanted to share it. I wasn't intending on sharing the songs in its fullness. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit why I chose this tuning. And my last name's Murry, and I love Celtic heritage because that's my heritage. And a lot of Celtic musicians play in this tuning. Lots of them. They play their folk music. A lot of country folk artists and southern rock musicians play in this tuning. There's also a guy from Tennessee. His name is Stephen Curtis Chapman, and all of his songs are written in this tuning. And I did not know that until I followed him on TikTok, and he says, now, most of you don't know this, but I actually play, this is my tuning, and it's in all of my albums. And I said, what, really? And so I picked up my guitar, and I figured out The Great Adventure. I can't remember it for the life of me. I tried to remember it earlier in my house, because I play a little bit of it, but I couldn't do it. You know, it just totally slipped my mind, but I wanted to tonight. But yeah, he played The Great Adventure, and that's one of my favorite songs by Stephen Curtis Chapman, because it changed everything of what he was used to doing. See, all his earlier stuff, I was like, yeah, I mean, that's good, that's great, you know. It's kind of this slow country folk artist sound. And then he came out with The Great Adventure, and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. You know, he's got a little lead guitar in the background and all that stuff. That's great, you know. But yeah, so a lot of people play out of this tuning. A lot of people love this tuning because he can do so much with it. It's a little more free, and I like freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, right? Because you can... And just that little riff right there, if I was in standard tuning, I'd have to do it differently. And it'd have to be a little more complicated. Maybe I'd have to go here and here, right? Okay, so is that, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.